Hey, what's up, everybody? AJ here, coming to you once again from the Thwip side, and it has been quite a few days, but I'm finally back. And tonight, I wanted to share with you my review on the Jazzwares Halo Spartan Collection, Halo 2 Master Chief, and Noble 6. Instead of going over packaging, I already have them out, as you can see, of course, but I just wanted to take this time to quickly talk about Master Chief from Halo Infinite. If you saw my review, you know that I was a little disappointed with him, or sounded pretty disappointed, and I was at the time. A lot of that came from just taking him out of the package. His whole upper torso popped right off. That really got me thinking, is this a piece of crap? And the other big gripe I had were these, his knee joint. As you see, got awful ugly. But I also said that I would give other figures a try, and full disclosure is that this Master Chief has warmed up to me. Am I backtracking on what I said in the review? No. Those knees are horrid. But besides that, I think he looks really awesome, presentation-wise besides that. And it's also my bad. I think I also said he felt cheap, and he really doesn't. I think it was more of me getting used to another company's figure. I've never owned anything by Jazzwares, and it just started off on a bad review, that popping off. They are in the package pretty tight. I'm not trying to be an apologist, and they do pop off easy. I want to think that might be a thing to prevent breaking. And also one other thing is the lack of a lot of rotation up here was kind of disappointing. But the main things were this popping off out of the package, and then the knees. But as I've just said, I have warmed up to him. Now that I mess with him, he's going to fall over, so I'm going to push him back. And he does look really awesome. And speaking of looking really awesome, I also think the Halo 2 version of Master Chief looks really cool. I really dig his visor. Get the gun out of the way here. It's really cool. Nice and shiny. And not nowhere near close as many paint apps as we got on the Infinite version, but I think they were going for a more simplistic vibe. Just like, the graphics of Halo 2 weren't as good as Halo Infinite, obviously. So I think that's the vibe they were going for. There seems to be a little bit of shading, slight. I'm not sure if that's just shadows playing off my light, but it appears so. But I do think he looks really awesome for what he's supposed to be, which is the Halo 2 version I just said of Master Chief. So really happy with how he looks, and he does have the same limit of waist articulation. He can crunch a tad bit more so than Chief, and of course he has the horrendous light knees. So I just try to pose him where it doesn't really stand out. But besides that, his articulation is the same as the first Master Chief. You get the bicep, swivel, double jointed elbows. Is it all the way up? I think it crashes there. Yeah, I think that's about here, as much as you can get. I already showed you what he had in the waist, not much. Head, of course, he does get, I think, yeah, it's really tough, but forward nicely. A little bit back. So the articulation scheme is pretty much the same. Nice rotation. Actually, this is a thigh rotation. Let me see something here. Oh yeah, I didn't think the Chief does have thigh rotation, just not as much, at least on my copy. Or no, it's more at the ball up here. This is rotating. It's weird. I don't know if it's supposed to, but that rotates as well. But okay, never mind. But this one anyway is a dedicated thigh cut. You can see it. And ankles back, ankles really forward, and you get a toe pivot. toe joint, no rocker. So yeah, same articulation scheme as the Chief, as the Infinite Chief. And now we'll take a look at Noble 6, and I really think he looks cool, really awesome. He's got all these nice details in his helmet, his visor. They do, for like what the gripes I have for their some of their articulation points. The presentation is really nice. I mean, you got a lot of nice details all through his armor. You see there. Yeah, I like the knife here, which is removable. Oop, that comes out. So yeah, presentation wise, they look fantastic. They also each come with swappable hands, some fists. I think it's 6 swappable hands. I won't get into those right now. This was more like a makeup overview because I didn't want to totally scare people off from the line in a way. But yeah, they come with a decent amount of accessories, and they look fantastic. Articulation, he has a little bit more going on, I believe. Just not in the head. He can look forward a little bit. Hear that click. And not up much at all, unfortunately. Swivels. No tilt. I wish they had a little tilt. Arm goes there, all the way around. Bicep. These are weird too. I find that some joints on these guys, some points of articulation are tight and other places are much looser. Nice double jointed elbows. Of course, wrist rotation. The Chief has the same wrist rotation. Both Chiefs. The hands, I think, are almost reused in a way. Or pretty close to it. He does have a tiny bit of crunch forward. Nothing to really speak of. Nothing really back, but he does have a lot more tilt. And he rotates a tad bit more. Oh, there goes the knife. Oh, well, I'll get it. So it goes out that far. Oh, now what does he have? He has the same thing as the Infinite Chief. It rotates on the ball a little bit, but then you also get it here as well. Which, again, I don't know if that's meant to do that. I'm thinking it might be. Then you get the ugly double jointed knees. Same problem. And then ankle back, ankle forward. No, well, he does have rocker. So he has rocker. Toe joint. So he is definitely a step in the right direction in improving the articulation, but still not quite what I'd like to see totally, to be totally happy. Most of it, again, is the knees. Now, I know this isn't the Infinite Chief review, but he does have the rocker as well. Let's go back real quick, because this is bugging me. Nope, there's just no rocker. Okay, so the Halo 2 version does not have the rocker in the ankle. So bottom line for me is that I ended up warming up to the Spartan Collection Halo Infinite Master Chief. His problems aside, I figured to stick with it and try some more figures, and I'm glad I did. I love the looks of these 2 figures. They still have some articulation hindrances. I would love to definitely see the line adopt an articulation scheme where you can swivel the waist more, instead of, maybe even if they can't do it here at this cut, maybe do it at the waist underneath these armor pieces here. But I think they could definitely do it, come up with a way to do it the waist up here at the torso. I would also like them to try to get a little more crunch into the figures, but I can live with that. What I really, really hope, if this line continues, is that they work on their knee joints, because those things are still super ugly. Like I said, I I've warmed up to the line, but yeah, those knees, they got to figure that out. That being said, I'm going to continue picking up the rest of the figures out so far. I did see that some were, another wave is coming, I think in June or July, so I'll be excited to check those out because I think there's some Covenant figures actually in that wave, if I saw correctly. But yeah, still have my disappointment in the knees, but I've come to really like these figures and enjoy them for what they are. And I hope that Jazzwares just continues trying to improve some aesthetics and a little bit of articulation. But I'll definitely be picking these up. I'm still not going to recommend them for everybody because I know there's some people that are, not as lenient as I am. So I'm not going to say go out and get these. Their articulation is great, so they might not be for everybody, but I think they're nice representations of the Halo characters, Spartans in general, and Jazzwares just needs to learn and maybe work on some things, and then they'll be even better. So, bottom line is, again, I like them. And if you like them, that's great too. But either way, I hope that my review of these three figures, Master Chief Infinite earlier, and these, helps you make a decision on what, if you were on the fence about picking them up or not. Me, I'm going to continue. I just think they look really good, and I just don't look at their knees. Okay, enough rambling. It's been so long that I felt the need to ramble, but with that being said, thanks for watching. If you got through my rambles this far, thanks for all your support. If you haven't done so and you like the video and enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, share my content, and thwip that notification bell, and I will catch you guys real soon right back here on the thwip side. Later.